Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here along with Samantha Perry. And you can see out there in a moment of our beautiful 3 courses out there. And there you go. And you can see the turf, the Tapeta, of course, and the fast main track today. Hi.
Hello.
I know you were on assignment yesterday. I'm glad you're back.
Yes, it was a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, you went to talk to Mr. Todd Pletcher. All the girls like Todd Pletcher. I don't know why, but...
We all like you, too, Ron.
Fast main track, firm turf course. Hey, $250,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six starting 4 through 9. So we've reached $250,000 in that gross jackpot. And as I mentioned, I'll have a ticket a little later on. But we got to get right to the first race today. It's going to be 7.5 on the turf. Maiden optional claimers 4 and up. That optional tag is $40,000. Scratch the 13 and 14. And Brian put an early pick 5 ticket together. So let's check it out today. He's going deep in this race, and I can understand why. We'll talk about it in a moment. 2 deep in race number 2 with Productiva and Race on the Glass. Those are absolutely illogical, too. Chasing Joy looks tough in race number 3. He also used the 7. His single is in race number 4, and that is Super Success, Marty Drexler. And coverage in that nice turf race in race number 5, where I have my long shot. We'll talk about that a little later. So $40 for Brian in the early pick 5. And going back to this first race, Samantha, the number 1 War Beat is a half-brother to versatile multi-millionaire grade 1 winner Catholic boy. And what do I mean by multi-millionaire? I mean versatile. He won the turf. He won on the dirt. Yeah. He actually won the Travers on the dirt. It's $40,000. He debuts, showed promise on the Tapeta for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, and this is a colt that they've had a little bit of setbacks with, and they actually thought they were going to, when they came back into the Brendan Walsh barn, that they were going to have him gelded. But seeing as his breeding connections, you can't really geld a horse like this. But I kind of worry about his behavior, especially here in the paddock. He's a very, very coltish horse in the mornings, so watch out in the paddock is all I have to say.
The number 4 horse in here is winner Samantha went, and Samantha has been on fire as far as her long shots and her picks have gone. So this one up there right now, 13-1, and it is away from home. Dale Romans with Junior Alvarado.
Yeah, and this is a sneaky barn and a race that I don't particularly trust too much. I knew that the Brendan Walsh horse was going to be bet very heavily, and I'm not saying the Brendan Walsh horse can't win. I think if this horse breaks, he'll be pretty sharp, but away from home is trying something new for the first time. I love horses. I think that when they're trying something new for the first time, they really can explode on it. The Dam Distortionata was super quick on the grass, and Junior Alvarado lands here. I like the way he rides this turf course, and I'm willing to take a shot.
The number 2 Covert Cat had beaten ahead against 40 Maidens, going a mile on the Laurel turf. That was a couple of starts back. Goes back to the grass today, chased and faded on the Tapeta.
Yeah, and this is a horse that, it was a really nice effort running second by a head, but it was also at Laurel. How good really are those turf horses there? And so, you just kind of never wonder.
The number 5 horse I'll mention real quick is now in the Todd Pletcher barn. The gelding makes his first start since finishing 3rd on the turf here. Oh, it was only about 13 months ago. You know how good Todd is. He has Lasix and he has Louis Saez.
Yeah, a lot of things to like about this horse. And I like the fact that he's been gelded coming off of that as well. But wait and see for me.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. 1 mile claimer. Fillies and Mares 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life. $6,250. We did have a scratch in here of the number 3 Cucaro, and this is where you have your early pick 4 ticket.
Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and get that teed up. $2 is the price here. I'm singling in race 1. We'll get to that in a moment, and I have a really impressive stat to show you with race number 2. In race 3, my top pick is the 6 Chasing Joy, also my best bet of the day. Love the work Liz Douglas does with her horses. In race number 4, I know you love the name of Swashbuckle here. The number 7, Be by the Sea, is actually my long shot of the day for the Marcial Navarro barn. And in race number 5, a little bit more coverage in a deep allowance race here.
Yeah,
$2.
Sorry,
no,
Samantha,
you're fine.
That's a good betting race, that race number 5. Getting back to your single here, Productiva is dropping to this level today and stretching out to a best distance and a best, everything is good for her today. I know you got a stat.
Yeah, and this stat has gone up since yesterday because they actually had a win, Rohan Crichton and Irad Ortiz, but 21 for 45. 47 win percentage, $3.35 return on investment at Gulfstream Park the last 5 years. Like I said, that's even gone up since yesterday because of their win together. So almost half the time you can count on them winning. That's enough for me to single the horse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think she is absolutely one to beat. Race on the Glass is actually the morning line favorite in there. This one may have finally found the spot where she can notch the elusive second victory. She's stretching out to the mile, finishing second, going 7, but 15 starts, 1 win, 5 seconds, 1/3. Blake Kelly keeps it light. He's got the Apprentice, but just, you got to sort of take this with a grain of salt because of that record.
Yeah, and 3 starts back, this horse was avoided claim and then has come back and run 2 seconds. So, I mean, the horse has a little bit of ability, but at 6 years old, something's got to give at some point.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. And then 6 furlongs. Claim is Fillies and Mares, 4 and up, $6,250. Scratch the 2, the Great Cath. Yeah, Chasing Joy is returning to a most accomplished level and surface for Elizabeth Dobles.
And this is a barn that's been really hot as of late. I think the last race was just a bit too sharp for her. This time she gets back to her preferred distance here, and I think this horse is going to be so tough to beat today.
The number 3 is where we both have in second. Awesome Appeal. Try and make it 3 in a row after following the 6th place finish behind aforementioned Chasing Joy in the mud. Comes back and scores back-to-back races for Edgar Perez, who's going to trainer Edgar Perez has got Lionel Reyes in the saddle today, and I think this is your logical exact horse in here.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm glad you and I are both kind of against this horse as far as putting on top because it's hard to win 3 races in a row, especially at this $62,000-$50,000 level. This is a horse that there's going to be not a lot of questions of her tactics. She's going to be up front or close to it, and maybe she can make it 3 in a row. But I think we got the right horse here.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
This is a championship meet. Yeah. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
Yeah.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history. And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Samantha. The 4th race today is where the Rainbow 6 is going to start. And if you didn't join us at the top of the show, $250,000 gross jackpot guarantee. It's going to be about 5.5 on the Tapeta optional claimer, starter optional claimer, 4 and up, 12.5 with a tag of 20. Did have a scratch of the 4 in here, Balisco. And we'll show you my ticket, and it is $32.40. We'll talk about this race in a moment. I like a long shot in race number 5. That's the 6 horse in there, Ghost Giant, but I use War Strategy and outside with Not Far Now. In race number 6 today, just too deep in there with me with Diamond Cool and Adios Papachico. And then you'll see my single comes in race 8. I'm taking a shot with Nitrous Channel. I thought its last race on the sloppy track is really going to help today. And then the last 3 deep for me with my top pick being the number 6 Krypton from Mary Epler's barn, but I also used Capture Me and Beauty Amazed in there. I love this 5th race today that we're going to be talking about after this 4th here, because here I went with the number 5 Electronic, who's changing barns, going to the Kevin Detard barn after the claim and debuting Loki. And I want to go back and show you this horse at Woodbine. First, we're going to start. You're going to see what I wanted to show here. You can see he's on the outside. So he's got to really, the horse has really got to hustle up. There you go. Beautiful job by Bob to show you that this horse has got to hustle up and get in that position right there. And as you know, riding horses all the time, you sort of got to use some energy in there, and I thought it was a good performance. And then this horse was just game all the way down to the wire. Ended up, getting beat by the number 4 horse in there. But I just thought game right to the wire after having to use that early energy. So I thought that was a game performance. And you just see how this one. I love the work that Kevin Detard does.
Yeah, and I love the switch here from the first start, I should say, from Woodbine here to Gulfstream Park. Usually it's a pretty live one. If not the first start, the second start, watch out. But this is a horse that is going to be really tough here, and I kind of went back and forth with putting this horse on top as well.
Well, you do have a long shot in here, and that's the number 7, Be by the Sea. And as I mentioned at the top, she's won with her last 2 long shots. So I want to hear about this one. I might have to go back and change my ticket a little bit.
No, don't do that, because then I'm for sure to lose here. Be by the Sea, Luis Saez jumps aboard this horse, and really big rider switch here. And this is a horse that he's just been there every time. He really loves to fill out the exacta and trifecta. He's going to need to take a step forward and break through as far as numbers go here. But the price is right with this horse, and I like the fact that he's got a local edge over electronic, and that's why I put Be by the Sea first and hoping I'll get over 6-1. That would be nice.
Well, the number 2 Swashbuckle, you know how to use in here, is debuting on the Tapeta after dueling for the lead and holding sway to defeat those 35 3 lifetime claimers, going 6 on the Aqueduct turf. Christophe Command, he's pretty good with horses going from turf to Tapeta. Tyler Gaffleone named to handle the turn back to 5.5 furlongs. Sort of thought this horse might want to be on the turf. I don't know why they got it here on the Tapeta.
Yeah, and you know, I know that some of these races, you're entering a horse with either a preference of the turf or Tapeta, and they pick which one fills quicker. So maybe it was a product of this is where they had to run. They wanted to run the horse, and this is where they had to do it. And October 13th was when we last saw this horse run, so maybe this is a stepping stone towards a turf out if the horse doesn't get claimed for 20.
Brian Single in this particular race was, I believe, was the number 8 Super Success, who's going to the Marty Drexel barn after the claim and debuting locally after closing strongly to finish 5th. Was only beaten a half length that day against those claimers, 25 going 6.5. Also up at Woodbine on their all-weather surface. They're pretty sharp, this barn, with new claims.
Yeah, they really are, and this is a nice price too, 12-1 on the morning line, and I'm sure we'll probably stay around that or float higher up. Another one coming down from Woodbine that, you know, could be super live in this spot.
Let's go to race number 5, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Starter allowance, 4-year-olds and up, $25,000. The number 7 Barrage was scratched, and the corrected weight on number 2 Self-Made is 120 pounds. And you have your late pick 5 ticket, and is it more than $2?
Yes, it is. $12 here. I really need the 3 here, except in race number 7. Race number 5 we'll get to in just a second. Race 6, I really like the number 3 Diamond Cool coming from the Patrick B. & Combe barn. In race number 7, the 5, I am singling English B from the Grand Motion barn, coming back gelded and after a freshening up, I like a lot. Race 8, I'm taking a shot against Nitrous Channel here. I might eat my words, but I'm willing to be wrong about this horse, and I'm taking your buddy Jerry O'Dwyer on top with the coming off of a win. And in race number 9, a bit of a toss-up here, but the number 3 Watch the Music, Jeff Hiles, he had a really nice win 2 days ago with Gabe and Tyler Gaffleone on the Tapeta for the first time. This horse has run on the Tapeta before, but his second start, and I think it could be pretty tough here.
$12. So let's go to this 5th race. I'll start it off with my long shot this afternoon. I'll tell you why I like this horse, Ghost Giant. Going to go to the Jennifer Young barn after the claimant, debuting locally at 1 mile and the 16th. Now, you look back, the horse failed to get on track against those $45,000 New York-bred optional claimers. That was going 6 furlongs on the Aqueduct turf. But this is an 8-time turf winner. And if you go back through this horse's past performance during this summer campaign up north, these points me out that he could win here. Of course, I was looking for a price. Luca Panici rides, and I'm just going off this horse's further back. I'm going to put a line through that 6 furlong race, and maybe I can get this horse. I believe 12-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, and this is a horse that if he does run back to that form from earlier in the summer, that would be nice. But claiming off of Linda Rice, sometimes I'm a little hesitant. And before that, Rob Atross had the horse. So I see your point, but I'm willing to take a shot against it.
That's why we come here every day, and that's why I'm hoping I get 12-1 or more.
Oh, yeah.
But you did go with the number 4 Nantasket Beach for Kelly Breen and Tyler Gaffleone.
Yeah, and we've actually got a stat here for jockey Tyler Gaffleone and Kelly Breen. When they team up together at Gulfstream Park, they're 4 for 17, $3.11 return on investment at Gulfstream Park the last 5 years. So 24 win percentage, not the greatest, but also not a very large sample size. You don't see him ride a lot of horses for Kelly Breen. So I think it's a good thing that this horse is getting Tyler Gaffalione, and they thought well enough of this horse to run him in a grade 2 after his maiden victory, which was over a very soft Delaware Park ground. So we'll see kind of how this horse fares out here. I think he'll really take to this turf course.
The number 5 War Strategy we both have in second is stretching out to the mile in the 16th after stalking the pace. Finishing second that day is the favorite against those 25 starter optional claimers. That was going the 8 furlongs on the turf for Mark Cassie. Luis Saez returning on this gelded son of Warfront.
And it was a nice effort, but nobody was beating Tizza Prince that day for the Margata barn. I mean, that horse just took the lead and never looked back. This is sometimes can be a very speed favoring turf course, and Tizza Prince really took advantage of it. War Strategy might have be pretty game today.
What'd you see with the 2 self-made? This one, Marty Drexler and Joel Rosario was going to ride. Up there, I'm Woodbine on the turf.
Yeah.
Tapeta, excuse me.
And this is a horse that actually does have a win over this Gulfstream Park turf course, 1-for-1 here, which you do like to see. Joel Rosario at 12-1. You know he's going to put this horse in the right spot. It's going to be up to the horse really to see what he's got in the tank.
I got to talk a little bit at the number 11, Not Far Now, is stretching out around 2 turns after the solid local turf outing going 5. He encountered some traffic in the stretch. He finished 4th. It was against 25 optional claimers. And I just think the stretch out today, the mile in the 16th for trainer Orlando Nota with Jose Ortiz managing that added distance. Now, maybe this horse, wish he had a little better post in here, but I think at 6-1, for the Trier Super, you might want to take a look at this horse.
Yeah, especially the 11 and 12, which you have both of those. You know, the post position kind of drew me away from these horses a little bit, Ron, but you've got Danny Gargan with Irad on the far outside. So these are horses you've got to take consideration to.
And it's not as bad, the outside post going a mile in the 16th, that as bad as it is going 7.5 for a mile. So good, you know, that's what made beauty of this race. As I said at the top, it's the best betting race on the card today.
Definitely.
We're all over the place, and that's what makes it a lot of fun in here. Race number 6 is 7 furlongs. These are state-bred 3-year-olds, and we're going to scratch the morning line favorite. Well, was it the morning five? No, second choice in there, Coceres, out of the race, and Brian put together a late pick 4 ticket, so let's check it out. Oh, he's got 3. He's catching. He's doing what you do now. He's saying, we'll talk about, he's singing Diamond Cool like you did in this race. Race number 7, he's going with the 2 Moulage, the French bred. I like saying that for Chad Brown. And race number 8, he's just got 2 with Nitrous Channel and Bourbon Creed. And in the last, he's got the same 3 I got, Krypton, Capture Me, and Beauty Capture Me. Yeah, so a very affordable $3 ticket. Getting back to this race, you could take it over, because it seems everybody in America is going to like this 7 furlong state-bred Diamond Cool with the scratch. I think the scratch at Coceres really helps Diamond Cool.
Yeah, I think so as well. And this is a race where there's not a lot in here as far as kind of quality goes. You know, Diamond Cool, we've seen Patrick Biancone earlier in a couple of weeks ago, actually, with Infinite Diamond off of a similar type of a layoff here. And you know he gets him fit enough, so I'm not worried about that at all. Actually cutting back from the distance back in November from a mile to 7 furlongs. I think this is a good stepping stone for this horse, maybe Florida Stakes later in the summer.
Well, I had Coceres on top of my ticket. I have to admit that. I just thought this horse was going to run exceptionally well. But Diamond Cool, for all the reasons you mentioned. Now, the 6 horse, 5150, is cutting back to 7 furlongs. If you go back and look at this horse's last race at the distance, he ran into that Buzzsaw Classic Car Wash, who was winning its 2nd consecutive race.
Yeah, this could be a really tough horse in this spot.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else. Adios Papa Chico is stretching out after recovering from a troubled start from the rail to finish 2nd against this level, going 6.5 furlongs. Von Herd has Sonny Leon managing that improved post today.
Yeah, that you said it right there. Improved post here, getting the 5 spot, was in the rail spot last time. Not always where you want to be with maidens, although this horse has run 6 times already. Still just not completely ideal, but I think that Sonny Leon, he got the test drive out of the way here, and it could be really sharp.
So the Diamond Cool is going to be a big favorite in that race, number 6. Going to race number 7 today, mile on the turf, allowance optional claim of 4-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $75,000. It is the feature race of the afternoon. And number 4, Red Danger, has been scratched. And Moulage, who was second in the Grade 3 Canadian turf here. So let's go back and see that performance just before the 8-pole home where Moulage gets caught. And English Blee, and actually in that race, who you had some interest in, closes to be third. Now this is way back, but I just thought this horse ran exceptionally well in there to win. Moulage is the number 7 in here. And just a game performance, gets beat by Mirror Mission, but you could see that English Bee closes up to be third at 10-1 in that race.
Yeah, and both of these horses are coming off of a little bit of a freshening up. Moulage is a horse that it's very spotty as far as running goes, but the thing I like about it is after these types of layoffs, Chad Brown is still putting this horse back in a graded stakes company. So, maybe it's just more of a circumstance of it's quality, not quantity, as far as the races go with his barn. And he's got so many turf horses. You don't need to just jam him in every single allowance race. Now they're trying the blinkers on him for the first time, which is interesting. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to wait and see on that. And that's why I like English Bee. He's gelded, which is a good thing.
Well, going back to Moulage, you can see that that last race he ran at Keeling, that race was good. It produced a pair of next out winners.
Yeah.
Irad Ortiz is going to jump in. Englishman, we saw that, and this horse ran well. He went up there and he was gelding. He ended his 2022 campaign, 5th place finish in the Grade 2 dinner party at Pimlico. So they like Graham is one of the sharpest. He knows where to put his horses.
Yeah, he really does. And, it's been some time since we've seen this horse, but I think this is a horse that fires very nice, fresh, and I think could be set to run a big one here, but we'll see. We'll see how the race plays out.
And the number 3, Bay Street Money, has really been raking in the coinage after following his entry 11 allowance score going a mile at Keeneland. He comes right back and scores again, going 8.5 furlongs at Churchill, Mike Maker, Joel Rosario. So this horse is on one of those win streaks. Can he get 3 today?
Yeah, it'll be tough. The Churchill Downs turf course was just so interesting last fall that I don't know how good that win was in hindsight. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's still a very solid horse, but you just kind of wonder. I don't know. I'm curious about those horses coming out of the Churchill Downs turf course.
We'll tell you a little bit about this more later, but this race is named in celebration in life for our buddy Dave Litvin, who passed away. We'll talk about that a little later on. Just wanted to pass that on to you. So if you're here and you're going to go to the winner's circle at race number 7 and celebrate his life. 8th race this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs, allowance optional claim of 4 and up, optional tag, $25,000, no scratches, jockey changes in there. You want to beat Nitrous Channel with Bourbon Creed?
Yeah, I'm going to try. I think that this horse might have some upside facing winners for the first time. How good really is this horse? And was bet a little bit here at Churchill Downs whenever he did win, which I think is a good indication for the Ian Wilkes barn, because with first-time starters, it's not like he really cranks them up for that. So the word got out on this horse a little bit, and I think he's eligible to improve off of that in a race that I kind of found a bit vulnerable.
Yeah, I just thought he'd be tested for class, but you're getting Irad at the controls today. Nitrous Channel, who was second, has the odds on choice in the Hutchinson Stakes last March. So once again, we're going to rewind the clock and go back and show you that performance back on March 19, 2022. And I just thought Nitrous Channel ran a really good race in here. I know this is a while back. I just wanted to show it. Now, he comes back off the bench, which we'll be talking about, not this race, and finishes okay in the slop. I thought he was going to move forward off that. So second off the bench. You can see he was very game in here. Now, he did get beat here as the 1-2 favorite in there, so we'll see what we get when he comes back.
Yeah, his last 2 races he's been beat as a favorite. And also, it's interesting that Tyler Gaffleone's ridden this colt his whole 3 career starts, and now Tyler Gaffleone's on the 7 Giant Game, which you have some interest in.
Yeah, this one's making his 4-year-old debut after a Starcross campaign in which he was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile during his freshman season. Then he was disappointing in both the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby and right here in the Grade 3 Holy Bull as a 3-year-old. But you got a stat you want to show, and the word out, this horse is working exceptionally well.
Yeah, I do have a stat here, and this was an interesting one. So first off of a layoff from 60 to 300 days at Gulfstream Park the past 5 years, just 10 for 80, 13%, $1.91 return on investment. Not the greatest stat here. He's one that I'd like to see in the paddock.
So much for that horse from me. The 9th race today is about a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. Its claim is 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. We did have a couple of scratches, early scratches at the 1 Grunder's Call and the 13 Gypsy Kitten, and we both went with the number 6 Krypton, who's changing, going to the Mary Epler barn after the claim, responded to the surface switch with a second place finish. Now was the favorite that day against those 12-5 maidens going a mile 70 on the Tapeta.
Yeah, and this is a horse that, you know, even though with the barn change, sometimes the trainers will change up a jock. The agents will kind of specifically need to go to a trainer and say, hey, like this guy wants to ride this horse back. And I love the fact that Irad stays here.
And you had the number 3, and you talked about it a little bit before, and that is Watch the Music for Jeff Hiles and Julian Leperoux.
Yeah, this is a horse that is making his second Tapeta start. I think he's got eligibility to improve here. Julian Leperoux takes the irons, and this is a horse that kind of ran into some trouble in that first Tapeta start, so I think that maybe with the cleaner trip, this could be a bit live.
The number 9, Capture Me, goes to the Claudio Gonzalez barn after the claim, so right away you got to pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
They're only 30% with new claims.
Only.
Yeah, so the barn, as I mentioned, Edgar Perez, now you're going to rematch with Krypton last time out, but this guy moves horses way up, so we'll see how this one runs today.
Yeah, this one could really just watch the board on this race, because if they're betting this horse, then you probably should jump on board.
The number 10, Beauty Amazed, is plunging to this level on the all-weather Tapeta and adding blinkers. First start since showing really not much against allowance competition. That was going 11 furlongs on the Belmont turf during June. Todd Pletcher, Louis Saez at top. Well, you know, we'll call this a shaky proposition, but I can't tell you how many times over the years Todd has done this with horses, and you say, they got no shot, and they run well.
Yeah, he's putting them where he thinks this horse fits, and that's for the 12-5 level. The blinkers go on, maybe sharpen him up just a little bit here, and let's see. I'm willing to play against this horse, but very well could win at this spot here.
Well, that's how we see the 9 races, but we are not done like we do each and every day. We will do our lightning round. Now, we got a couple of co-features on Saturday here, and one of them is the, we're going to show you, first one we're going to show you is Gatsby returning to defend his title in Saturday's Sunshine Sprint, and here he was winning that last January. I got a lot of races from last year, but I just thought he was so game, and he ran exceptionally well up at Tampa last start, so I think Gatsby is sitting on another win today.
Yeah, I really think so as well. Louis Saez rode him that day. He's riding him back again tomorrow. There's just, that horse will be super tough to beat.
You know, if you look in the dictionary under hard-knocking campaign, you're going to see this horse Sugar Fix. This is co-feature. It's the Sunshine Filly and the Mare Turf. Now, we're going to go all the way back to when this horse wins the Claiming Crown Tiara last time, because when she ran in this race last year, because of the inclement weather, was played on the Tapeta, I just think she's a hard-knocking campaigner. Here she is just going, if she's on her A game, she can beat these horses on Saturday.
Yeah, and these are races that you can take a shot in, and I don't know how much they're going to bet her, so it might be a nice play.
Now, we'll go with your best bet of the day.
That's Chasing Joy for the Liz Doblas barn in race number 3, thinking that this horse has found the right surface back again, and Liz Doblas, she's been hot lately.
Well, my horse is the horse you're trying to beat this afternoon, and that is Nitrous Channel 6-5. And all my best bets have not been doing well. My long shots have run okay, but so we'll see how this plays
Your
out.
long shots that are 5-2?
Yeah. Well,
just kidding.
Yeah, Nicoletti Steam. What are you going to do?
I know.
What about your long shot today?
B by the Sea, Louis Saez aboard here for the Marcial Navarro barn in race number 4.
And mine is in race number 5 today, and it is Ghost Giant at 12-1 on the morning line, trying to wake that one up sneakily here in that. Now, today's Friday, so we got lots going on besides all this fantastic races. And one of the angles we got here is you can pick more winners than Claudia. You win up to $500, and you got to register in Silks before 2 p.m. every day. Well, not every day, every Friday, and that is what today is. So play that, and yeah, you got a chance to get some money for the races on Saturday.
Yeah, and great racing tomorrow. Some really nice maiden races, and it'll be fun.
And, of course, tomorrow it is Beat the Expert once again, and our buddy Brian is up tomorrow. You select more winners than, well, our expert, you know, he can win. You could win. I don't know. What expert? It threw me off a little bit. Now I'm just teasing
Oh.
Brian. Yeah. And here is why I'm teasing Brian. Here you see the question mark because it's our buddy's birthday today, and we want to wish him a very happy birthday.
Yeah, and his optical illusion picture of a suit there, and that Pete the Expert. Happy birthday, Brian. I know we're all very happy to be working with you, and some nice cookies
Yeah.
from Angela in the office.
Yeah, and he looks great, Brian, for 65 years old. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know how old he is. He's not 65, that's for sure. I just make fun of him because I'm old. So that's it for us. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello with all the scratches, jockey changes, and then we'll be back in for race number 1.
We're ready for the start. They're off.